We've got Ezreal and Thresh into Lucian Braum. Lucian Braum's a pretty strong lane. Not impossible to beat, but definitely pretty annoying. The reason for that is the Lucian can easily proc the Braum's passive for the stun. So even though they don't have a ton of CC outside of that, they can proc that passive really easily. So they can proc it on both of you. Provided the Braum focus as well. Your Thresh decided to go coin and 4 health potions. Coin and 4 health potions. He's not going to be as tanky early game, but he will get that, what's the item called now? Talisman of Ascension.
30 seconds until minions
so that's
spawn.
good. You guys really shouldn't be sitting here. You're giving up a lot of jungle pressure. Like, I know that your jungler's AFK, but if you're sitting here and, you know, your support's there, or better yet, you and your support are here and your jungler's there, then they wouldn't have gotten this ward off. This ward's probably not going to tell them anything, but it could.
I am smiling.
If they
Minions have spawned.
were feeling a little cheeky, they could have invaded. It really surprises me how many people in lower elos start at blue side instead of just starting with their bot. But I guess that's the route that they want. This is a really good ward by the Rumble, I'm assuming. I can't see wards. Can I? No, it was the Rek'Sai. The Rek'Sai did that. That's a good ward. So your Thresh got Death Sentence at level 1, which I probably wouldn't recommend, but he hit the hook, got good damage off on Lucian, so I suppose it worked out. Also, I noticed that you got your Q like right out of the base. You were just sitting here at like 40 seconds or something with your Q leveled up. Typically that's a bad habit to be in because you know, say for some reason they 5-man dive you or something, and the only way to live would be with your E. Or a more realistic situation would be, you know, you coming here and then they chain CC you with like a Rek'Sai, knock up, and the Braum passive. See, that's why Braum Lucian's really strong, because they can proc that. But, you know, whatever CC they can hit you with, if you level your Q and putting damage on isn't going to be the best option and you need the escape, you don't have it, so you have to blow your flash. So you should wait to level up. Also, I don't think getting your W at level 2 is the best, especially on AD Ezreal. You are not going to be using your W that frequently. I mean, you'll use it when you're trading, but you won't use it to poke because it's a lot of mana. Yeah, 50 mana compared to 28 for your Q. And it just doesn't do that much damage. Like, it's not mana efficient. It does 70 compared to your Q, which does 35 plus 1.2 times your AD or something. You got your E, you can shift in, that's good. You blew both of their flashes and the Lucian's heal. I hope your Thresh timed that. If he didn't, you need to time it. So you should know that both of their flashes are coming up at about 9 minutes. Lucian's heal is coming up at about 8 minutes. And what knowing those timers does is it gives you the ability to capitalize on them not having it. So if you know that Lucian doesn't have flash and you just saw him use his dash, then your Thresh can go in for an easy hook or a flay or whatever, and the only way that he can dodge it is by moving. He can't flash. See, oh wow, that was a really nice hook. Probably on the lucky side, but that was good. He definitely could have gave you that probably should have hit the Q. Rek'Sai is coming in for the gank. There's your E that you got, you're fine. Your lane's really safe because you have Ezreal and a Thresh, so he can lantern you out whenever you need. Alright, you've got the wave pushed. Backing is the right idea. I don't think backing in his vision smart. Just because if you're being a dick, he could come up and Q you, or if Rek'Sai were like here, he could have tunneled in towards the end of your back when you're probably shopping. It's dangerous to back in their vision. You should have walked back to here, or like here with Thresh. But it's not a huge deal. I don't know if I've seen you play Ezreal before, but if I haven't, a thing that I talk about every time I see an Ezreal is his power spike is pretty delayed because he's got the tier. So even though you probably feel stronger since you guys killed their bot lane, you have 2 assists, which is unfortunate, but you know, your jungler picked up a kill and your support picked up a kill. You're up 2 assists on him. So you probably feel stronger, and you are. You've got about 100 gold on him. But the issue is the way that Ezreal itemizes. He doesn't get damage early. So your tier, it's cost efficient for like farming and going into the late game, but for early game you get no combat stats out of it, and it delays your power spike. So right now you're not as strong as you feel like you might be, and if you get into a fight right now, you'll probably lose. Provided Lucian plays it right. To be fair, you're up a level. Now that you're not up a level, he's got 10 damage on you. They can probably win a trade. And Braum knows that. He's really trying to make something happen. I think Ezreal's a good champion to pick if you want to work on farming. Well, if you want to like get farm easily, because you've got the Qs and the autos, so even if you mistime your auto a little bit, if you realize it in time, you can throw the Q out and get the CS still. That being said, they've pushed a couple waves into the tower. And Thresh has taken a few CS without a relic shield, but you are getting out farmed. The Braum is able to secure a good bit with his relic shield, but still, at this point in the game, your CS should probably be 10, 15 higher.
Shut down.
And I get that it's a lot of, you know, they're just shoving you to the tower and you're having difficulty farming it there, but so Braum's trying to engage. Lucian doesn't want anything, which is kind of foolish on his part. They're stronger than you, unless you knew that gank was coming. Your ult did like nothing. Keel was a little late. Okay, let's rewind this, and I think that you should have gotten at least 1 kill here. So, LeBlanc roams down, she's 1 and 2, not particularly strong, but Thresh misses. Wait, what was Thresh trying to hook? Braum. Anyways, your Thresh gets kited out really hard by the Lucian. You ult, it doesn't do much, but right here, this Rek'Sai is getting destroyed. You need to be throwing down autos. This E is way too aggressive. I'll show you what you should have. Okay. Okay. So, something important to note is your Ezreal. There's a minion wave here. This minion's probably going to block a Q that you throw. And there it is. Minion blocked your Q. You need to be autoing. That arcane shift just shouldn't have happened. You're in a good defensive position right here. Maybe you got confused and thought that the clone was the actual LeBlanc, and that's why you went over there. But if that's not the case, you should have stayed here. The Braum was zoned off from Threshold. Lucian was chasing the fake LeBlanc. You had a free kill on this Rek'Sai. Right now, you should be autoing. Auto, auto, auto. This kill is super free. Your heal was a little late. Yeah, that E is what got you. I don't remember if you die here, but it definitely cost you your flash. Yeah, and it cost you at least one kill. They may have played it differently had you killed the Rek'Sai, which you should have. Here, auto. No, see, if you had an arcane shifted, you would have gotten 2 or 3 autos off and a Q. That's an auto. You canceled that auto. That's an auto. You only got 1 auto off in the time that you could have gotten 4 or 5, and you would have killed her. And then this Braum super low. You and Thresh are still healthy. You guys could have 2v2'd had you killed the Rek'Sai, but the Rek'Sai just being alive is giving too much pressure. Watch you turn this and get a triple, and I'm just gonna look stupid for reviewing that so hard. Yeah, I don't think you guys should fight this. Oh, you have Xin Zhao. Even still, Xin Zhao took the route, and they kind of know he's there, so... Wow, I can't believe that. That's a nice hook from Thresh, good follow-up. Hopefully Kog'Maw doesn't get a triple here. Yeah, you guys just need to get out. Get out, get out, get out. This is not a situation that you want to be in. You're low, and you have 1,300 gold. Okay. Personally, I think you should have bought your Phage when you backed. And then you got Sapphire Crystal and a health potion. You should have gotten an amplifying tome. Or did I say you should have gotten your Phage? I meant you should have gotten your Sheen. I don't remember what I said. But instead of Phage, you should have gotten Sheen. Because Sheen gives you better poke damage. Your Qs apply the on-hit ability from the Sheen. So it makes your poke a lot stronger. As opposed to the Phage, which, I mean, it gives you some health. But you already had the longsword, so it didn't give you too much extra AD. It gave you 20 AD instead of 10. But the passive on the Phage and the health isn't worth boosting the shield. Because the AP's good, and oh my. Okay, just ult it. Stop chasing off. Oh, you don't. Oh, this is rough. Oh, I see what you're saying. This is where you fucked up, you said. Yeah. Once again, this is an issue with, like, overly aggressive arcane shift. So, I get you want this kill, but you're the AD carry. You are the sustained damage. Your job isn't to go chase down this kill. Nobody should have been chasing down that kill. Had you stayed, right, if you were here, even with that, in my opinion, overly aggressive arcane shift, you could have focused this Lucian or this Braum, and you would have had, you probably would have killed the Lucian, had you stayed, you might have saved this in jail. Probably not, but you would have gone 1-for-1 instead of, or I'm sorry, 1-for-2 instead of 2-for-0. Unless Timo goes in Princess. Which it doesn't. Oh, LeBlanc. LeBlanc. W. LeBlanc. I don't think. So. Okay, we're going. Definitely can't take that one side up. Yeah. So dodge. Okay. So again, kind of the same problem we had earlier. Your farm is a bit lower than it should be. You're getting stomped by the Lucian, and it reflects in the gold. He's got 600 gold more than you. Yeah, about 600 more gold than you, even though you died one less time than him. Hopefully you get killed, because they dove really far. Or LeBlanc gets a kill. Oh, don't back there, he's just gonna W you. Okay, you're... Yeah, damn, your LeBlanc just hit him a kill. The shutdown. That's unfortunate. Maybe you can help him. That was just bad. The only thing that I can say that you could have done was right here. You got a Q. Should have Q'd him. That should get a bit of damage. Like, the best part of Ezreal is his kiting, especially since you went the phage first. Like, if you're gonna get the phage, you either need to chase or kite. And by chase, I don't mean like dive the back lane like you did for the Rek'Sai over here. I mean like, you know, stick to somebody in a fight. And since you're losing right now, I think you got to be a little bit aggressive, but not to the point where you can get yourself killed. Like, you can be here, throw a Q, back off, just sort of entice him with your when your arcane shifts up, so that you're not in danger, but you're making sure that he overstays. At this point, not taking that lantern was smart. It's hard to say, because the Kog'Maw could kill you with like one ult, but if you could outplay him, you could have gotten a kill, because he was pretty low also. You just need to hit him with the Q, W, and then arcane shift his ult, and then like auto Q, something like that.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Wait, where? Oh, full party Zac.
Red team has slain the
Yeah, ulting into proms shield is just gonna make your ult die, so. That was a little suicidal from your LeBlanc. You overstayed. When you saw that they had 4 here, and you kind of did it, but you sort of danced with the LeBlanc a little bit. You know that they have 3. And then you don't see Kog'Maw anymore, so you can assume that he backed or he rotated. He's full health and mana, so he probably rotated. You see him with the ward, like you see him right now, at the very least. Let's find out where you spot him. It's like F2 or something, F1. Oh, okay, I didn't know I could do that. Which one? What the hell did I do? Okay.
Red team has slain the dragon.
Okay, so Thresh gets caught out. You go to try and help. You know that they got dragon, I think. Maybe not. It's a son, though. Okay, so you saw Kog'Maw mid. You might not have noticed it, but Kog'Maw was mid. And then he's not there anymore. He's probably like right here. He's coming. There he is. Okay, so you see him with this ward. Like, you saw him when you were here. At this point, you should have turned around and started running back. You waited a little bit too late to turn around, and what that did, do you have Arcane Shift? Yeah, you should have used that on cooldown. You should have shifted away, because what that did is it let them get behind you, especially since your tower was so low. And you just got killed for nothing.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So let's see what you can do from here. You're grouping up. Okay. You are just running. You need to be kiting. Okay. I get that it's like intimidating because their whole team's like in your face, but if you're not kiting, then you're not doing anything. Then you're just running away while your team takes free damage. If you're not the one being focused, like right now, Teemo's being focused by Rek'Sai and Braum, you should be throwing out autos. Auto, auto, auto. And then you still have your Arcane Shift up, so if they turn on you, you just Arcane Shift out. Like you used your escape when nobody was focusing, so you wasted it. Your LeBlanc is probably going to go in here and burst these guys down. Wait, what? That's really unfortunate. None of them are going to die. Wow, that's unlucky. Hopefully you guys get this card off. Yeah, heal up because they have the LeBlanc.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
That was 4v4. Okay, so we're gonna take another look at the farm because it's almost the 20-minute mark. You are down 60 CS. That's just like unacceptable. 60 CS is huge. 60 CS is like. Him being up 60 CS pretty much means he's got like 10 kills. $10 CS is like 180 gold, 200 gold. it scales later into the game, obviously, so you can do like kill a melee, see how much you get, kill a caster, see how much you get, add it up, multiply by 3, or I'm sorry, add it up, divide by 2, that's how much a man's worth, and then you multiply by however many you want to see how much gold he's ahead from minions.
Unstoppable. Blue team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
I'd say this game's probably over. Delusion's 3 levels higher than me. He's got ADCS on him, which is like a lot of gold. Let's see how much gold he's got. Yeah. 4.2k gold. Yeah, I agree, it's over. So I think that the reason that you lost this game is because you got out-farmed and you didn't properly use your power spike. So I think you just got your Triforce. You must have. Yeah, so this is the issue with going tier on Ezreal is if you don't get to the part where it's relevant, there's no point going. That's the problem with doing anything that's like building for the late game, right? So what's a good example? Like Kog'Maw, for example. Kog'Maw is really item dependent. AP Kog'Maw at least. If you're building the Luden's Echo, like he just is worthless until he gets it. It's a little earlier of a power spike, but he also gets a tier. So he's got a similar power spike as Ezreal. He gets the tier and then the Luden's Echo. Now the good thing about AP Kog'Maw is the Luden's Echo makes him relevant quickly. It's cheaper than a Triforce, so it's relatively affordable, especially if you get like a kill or two, and you can get that rod. But the difference is for okay, so say if the Kog'Maw had fallen behind, this game would be over for the Kog'Maw. Like, you fell behind, and this game's over for you because you have a late game power spike if you don't hit your early one soon enough. Like, if you don't get your Triforce early enough in the game, which is your first big power spike, then you get outscaled, and the Triforce isn't a huge power spike at that point. And I mean, you're down 107 CS, so I mean, it wasn't this bad earlier, but there were points like it started to slip when you were down like 40 CS or something. So you really need to focus on just getting your last hits and using your power spikes better.
Dominating.
So you need to understand that if you're building a tier, you're not going to be super strong. You don't want to fight until you get that Triforce. And then after you get the Triforce and you've got your tier fully stacked, you need to upgrade that ASAP, because that's another really big power spike for you. mean, at this point, you're not losing because, like, of anything that you can control at this point. Like, this game's just over unless you drag it out to a 60-minute game. Just because you're down by a ton of farm, their AD carry's super far ahead, their mid lane is just stomping, their top lane stomping. Everyone on their team is really strong, and you don't have any like redeeming factors for your team. I mean, your team has a Bork, for fuck's sake. Like, a Bork and Sork shoes. Like, I don't know what he's going for, but it's just not good. That was well played. That's what you should have been doing. That's what you should have been doing this whole time.
Blue team's inhibitor has
Is
been destroyed.
using your arcane shift as
Red
a
team double kill. Blue team's inhibitor is respawning soon.
you guys forfeit. When you see Baron,
Red
I'm
team
guessing.
has slain Baron Nashor.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Did it just end?
Blue team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
Oh, they probably just end.
Legendary.
So again, to recap, you guys lost lane because, first of all, they have a stronger lane matchup, and second of all, you didn't use your power spike properly, and you got, third, you got out farmed. Also, you misplayed team fights and didn't kite properly. Well, I won't even say properly. Like, you didn't kite at all most of the time. It was, I feel like you were up in the middle of the fight. Like, not in the middle, but like, you know, there's front line, back line, and then there's somewhere in between, and you were in that somewhere in between for your team, and you were scared there, so you just arcane shifted out, blew your escape, and then from there, like, you were too far away to do damage, but like, not far enough for you to feel safe or something, and you just kept running. I don't know. You just didn't do enough damage in fights. So those were the main issues.